students, we are going to discuss chapter 4 of class 10, that is transpiration. Before starting this chapter, we will study some other fact that related to the transpiration. Is we know that plant absorb means होता है intake करना. Plant absorb large quantity of water and minerals from soil. That's why we can say that which part of plant is responsible for absorption of water and mineral. Which part of plant is responsible for absorption of water and mineral from soil. So we will study that is xylem. Xylem is responsible for transport of water and mineral from the soil to the different parts of plant. Now one comes which process water and minerals moves in the upward direction. We will study about it, the process of ascent of sap. Ascent of sap is the process by this water means water that is conducted from root to the upward part of plant, that this water is conducted in the upward direction. How? Up to the tip of the stem means water is absorbed from the soil, is transported to the tip of the stem and different branches of plant and leaves by the process of ascent of sap. Means we can say that ascent of sap is the process which is responsible for the transmission of water from the soil to from the root to the different parts of plant, or that is stem, leaves, roots of the plant. Now we will discuss the definition of the transpiration. The term transpiration. What do you mean by term transpiration? What is the term transpiration that we are going to discuss about it? Transpiration, it is the process of loss of water from the aerial part that is called aerial part of plant. Aerial means stem and leaves, that part are in contact of air. Aerial part of plant is called transpiration. It is the process of loss of water from the aerial part of plant is called transpiration. Transpiration is a key term that is responsible for carrying out different types of activities in plant. Now we will discuss why transpiration is required. Cause of transpiration means causes of transpiration. We will discuss about causes of transpiration. Why this process of transpiration occurs in plant? It is responsible for cooling. It is responsible for transportation of it is responsible for transportation of water and mineral to the different different parts of plant, This process is responsible. Second point, it is responsible. First point, that is, it is responsible for transportation of water and mineral to the plant. Second point, that is second cause of transpiration is, means we can say that causes of transpiration is upward suction force develop due to loss of water. Loss of water means this is the two regions that is responsible for the transpiration process. How we discuss the transpiration process in this activity? We will discuss experiment number 1. Experiment number 1 that is discussed in your book to identify how the process of transpiration occurs. Its aim of this experiment is what is the aim of this experiment? Aim of to demonstrate the process of to demonstrate the process of transpiration. To demonstrate the process of transpiration. To demonstrate the process of transpiration. Aim of this experiment is to demonstrate. Demonstration means we can say that to express the process, to exhibit the process of transpiration. How we will discuss the process of transpiration? For doing this activity, we have to take a potted plant. We have to take a potted plant. This is potted plant. We have to take a potted plant having leaves. Potted plant. This is potted plant. This is potted. We have to take to carry out this activity. We have to take potted plant. Potted plant covered with potted plant on a base covered with a bell jar. Covered with bell jar. This is glass bell jar. Covered with bell jar that is responsible for checking loss of transpiration, loss of water from this area. Now after it we have observed and covered this portion upper part of soil with polybag. Cover the root part, cover the soil part with polybag to prevent the loss of water from the vaporization process, by evaporation process to check the evaporation process, to loss of water from the upward soil, Now put the bell jar and covered around it with Vaseline. Now after some, and keep this potted plant in the sunlight. Keep the potted plant in the sunlight. After getting sunlight, we will keep it in the sunlight. Keep the potted plant in the sunlight. After half an hour, we observe that water vapors are entangled in glass jar. We observe that some water droplets get entangled in glass jar. Again we want to discuss about this experiment. Aim of this experiment to demonstrate the process of transpiration. First, for this carrying out this experiment, we have to take a potted plant and cover it, kept on a surface and covered it with a bell jar. This is bell jar, that is glass covering, and put the corner and cover the soil of potted plant with a poly bag, so that loss of water does not take place through evaporation. Otherwise this water may be evaporated to come on the inside portion of jar. So to prevent the loss of water from the surface of soil, we have to cover it with poly bag, and again cover the corner area of bell jar with Vaseline, so that no loss of water, no exchange of water take place from outside to inside or inside to outside. After some time we observe the water droplets are present inside it. Now similar experiment can be carried out. By taking a potted plant covered with a poly bag. Now again we can carry out this experiment on a potted plant covered with a poly bag. This is polythene. polybag, polythene. Now carry out this experiment by covering it with polythene bag around the potted plant. We observe that few after half an hour we observed that water droplets get entangled inside the polythene bag. This represent this experiment. The result we observe that water droplets get accumulated accumulated inside the polythene bag, inside the polythene bag. Now we can say that loss of water takes place from the aerial part of plant, means we can say that stem or leaves. Now we have to carry out second experiment. Experiment number second is similar is bell jar. This is experiment second. It is also its aim is similar is experiment number 1. But here is we have to taken a potted plant, well watered potted plant covered with polythene bag. This is also representing the process of transpiration process. Now we will discuss next activity to carry out different experiment. Now we have to take next experiment number. Next we have to take it to demonstrate this activity. Now we can take next experiment. Its purpose is also to demonstrate transpiration process. For carrying out this experiment, we have to take three setups. Setup A, first setup, that is setup A, setup B, and setup C. Now these setups are discussed here for carrying out the experiment for or we can say to demonstrate the transpiration process. For this we have to take a potted plant. Potted plant fully covered with oilcloth. Potted plant covered with oilcloth. Potted plant is covered with oilcloth. This is covered with oilcloth. Potted plant covered with oilcloth. Covered with oilcloth. Now we observe that, and after it covered with this bell jar. Now after it sometimes we covered it with bell jar. And after half an hour we will observe that water droplets gets accumulated inside the bell jar. This experiment shows that water loss takes place from the aerial part of plant. Now in second experiment we have to carry out in the similar way. We have to take a potted plant. It is also covered with this portion is also covered with oilcloth. It is covered with oilcloth. It is also covered with oilcloth. For carrying out experiment, we have to cover it whole vessel with bell jar. Whole vessel is bell jar, along with taking a cobalt chloride paper. Attached on cobalt chloride paper. Chloride paper COCl2, cobalt chloride paper. Why it is used cobalt chloride paper? It is used to detect the presence of water vapor. vapor. To detect the water vapor, its color changes from pink to paper color changes from pink to green to pink, blue to pink. Its color change from blue to pink. Its color changes. After some time we observe that due to transpiration color changes from blue to pink. Color of cobalt chloride paper changes from blue to pink. Now in setup number 3rd, we will discuss in setup number 3rd. That is also called control method of this experiment. This setup is control method of this experiment. Here is no bell jar, but we have to taken a cobalt chloride paper. That is pink color, that is blue color. It is blue colored cobalt chloride paper. Cobalt chloride paper is put here. To carry out a control method. Here no transpiration process takes place. No transpiration occur because here no transpiration occurs. Here no transpiration process occurs because here is no potted plant. Now we will discuss about the difference between transpiration and evaporation. What is the difference between transpiration and evaporation? We will discuss here difference between transpiration and evaporation. What is difference between transpiration and second one is evaporation. Transpiration and second one is evaporation. Transpiration and evaporation. The difference between transpiration and evaporation is, we know that it from its definition, loss of water. Find first loss of water from aerial part of plant. Aerial part of plant is called transpiration. Aerial part of plant is called transpiration. While evaporation is the loss of water from the surface of water bodies, from the free surface. It is the process of loss of water from free surface. Loss of water from free surface. It is a physiological process. It is physical process. It is physiological. Why we called it is physiological process? Because it is physiological process because it occurs in only living part of plant. Means we can say that only in living organism this process will take place. It is physiological process. But it is only physical process. It is only physical process that is responsible for evaporation process. Now third point that is discussed here, it involves living tissue. It involves living tissue. Means living organism are responsible for carrying out transpiration process. But here no tissue is required. It involves non-living matter. It involves non-living matter. Now dear students, we will discuss the measurement of transpiration. Next process, that is measurement of transpiration. Measurement of transpiration. How we will measure the amount of water lost to this process? Means loss of water due to transpiration can be measured. Transpiration can be measured in several ways. Loss of water due to transpiration can be measured by several processes. By several process we can measure the process of transpiration. Means we first here is experiment number 1. Experiment number 1 for this process. Experiment number 1. In your book it is discussed experiment number 3rd. Experiment number 1. Experiment number 1 is discussed here for carrying out this process. We have observed. We have to take to repotted. We have to measure this. We have for measuring. First of all, we have to take a balance. We have to take a balance with pan balance. We have to take a pan balance. This is pan balance that is used to measure the rate of transpiration. Pan balance. And here put this is the weight carrying part of this vessel. Now here put a potted plant. Here we have to put a potted plant. We have to put a potted plant now, so that if we observe that after some time we will observe its weight losses. This is pan clock. Now after some time we will observe that its weight losses. This shows that weight losses, we can say weight decreases after some time after keeping the potted plant in the lighted area. Now we will can observe it by doing another experiment to demonstrate next process. And loss of water can be measured by this process easily by using pan balance. Now observation, we observe that weight of potted plant decreases. Observation of this experiment will be observation means we observe that loss in weight of potted plant occur. Loss in weight of potted plant occur. Loss in weight in potted plant occur here. Now we will discuss the next experiment that is loss of water. Next experiment aim of next experiment is to demonstrate loss of water by short shoot. Aim of this experiment is to demonstrate loss of water by soot. To demonstrate loss of water by soot due to transpiration. Transpiration process. For carrying out this experiment, we have to take a test tube. And a plant. For carrying out this experiment, we have to take a test tube carrying water filled with water and a plant without root. Having plant carrying leaves and without root. Now put the water on its surface. Sprinkle oil on the upper surface of this. Oil, it prevent. What is the function of oil? It prevent evaporation. Evaporation process. so that loss of water will not take place from the upper surface of vessel. Now we will observe that. Weight of difference in the weight. We will observe that difference of initial and final weight. Initial weight of this experiment. This test tube is initial weight of test tube is more than initial weight of test tube is more than final weight after keeping this vessel in the sunlight. Now dear students, we are going to discuss next experiment, that is the most important experiment. Next experiment is discuss experiment number 5. This experiment is used to measure the water uptake by water uptake by leafy stem, water uptake by leafy stem. For carrying out this experiment, we have to take this operator, that is Gannon's photometer. This operator is Gannon's photometer. It is a device, photometer. It is a device that is used to measure water uptake by the leafy stem. This is leafy stem inserted on the stem part of this Gannon photometer. Now here is bubbles. Here is water filled in this portion of, and here is air bubble. Here is air bubble introduced in this. Air bubble introduced in it. Air bubble is introduced to show the movement of water. Air bubble introduced to show the movement of water. When, and here is colored water. Here is colored water in the second part of or lower downward side part of Gannon's photometer. This colored water, when transpiration process will take in two parts. First one is stem part of this Gannon photometer that contain plant. When transpiration process takes place from the stem plant part, that is aerial part or leafy part of plant, then air bubble moves on the left side, and water from the colored water from the beaker moves in the upward direction. This shows that the water loss takes place from the aerial part of plant or cut stem part of plant. Now we will discuss few drawbacks, or we can say that few limitations of Gannon photometer. It is very important part of it. Limitations of photometer. We will discuss limitations of photometer. First limitation, that is it is very difficult to introduce. It is very difficult to introduce air bubbles. It is very difficult to introduce air bubbles in stem of Gannon photometer. Now second limitation is various changes influence various environmental changes, various environmental changes affect it. Various environmental changes are affecting this process of transpiration. Now last one is leafy stem. The leafy stem becomes dead. That's why our experiment gets affected. Now we will discuss types of transpiration. Dear student, we will discuss types of transpiration. We will discuss here types of transpiration. Types of transpiration. We will discuss here different types of transpiration. First one is stomatal transpiration. First type of transpiration is stomatal transpiration. That is, first one is stomatal transpiration. Stomatal transpiration. Stomatal transpiration is, we know that leaves, lower side of leaves contain stomata. Lower side of leaves contain stomata. Lower side of leaf contain stomata. That lower side of leaf contain stomata, that is minute pore. That is minute pore that is responsible for transpiration. When transpiration, from definition we will discuss here, when transpiration takes place from stomata, then it is known as stomatal transpiration. Now second type of transpiration is cuticular transpiration. Cuticular transpiration is, we know that cuticular transpiration takes place from the cuticulars are on the upper surface of leaf. There are located cuticles that are on the skin of stem or leaves are available. Cuticle that prevent the loss of water, but loss of water takes place for cuticle of the leaves, covering the outermost covering of leaves or stem. This is called cuticular transpiration. Now third type of transpiration is lenticular transpiration. Lenticular transpiration is, we know that wood stem transpiration which takes place from wood stem, like this is stem and bark of stem. There are minute pore that is called lenticles. Lenticles are responsible for the loss of water from the stem. This portion is stem of plant contain lenticles or minute pore through which loss of water will take place, and this type of transpiration is known as lenticular transpiration. Now dear student, we will discuss stomata. What is stomata? Discuss the structure of stomata. Structure of stomata. We will discuss structure of stomata. Now here is we know that here is gourd cells. These are gourd cells that is responsible for opening and closing of stomata. These are gourd cells. Here are few other apparatus devices. There are gourd cells, that is, these are gourd cells, and these are small gaps. These are gourd cells. We will discuss here stomatal wall. It is thick wall. Stomatal wall is thick wall. Stomatal wall. This is stomata. This portion is called stoma. This portion is called opening of stoma. Stomata is called stoma. S-T-O-M-A. Stoma, not stoma. This is stoma. Opening of stomata is called stoma, and this is thickened wall. Thickened inner wall. This is thickened inner wall of gourd cell. Thickened wall of gourd cell. That is responsible for opening and closing. And outer is thin wall. Outer is thin wall. Inner is thick walled and outer is thin walled. And here few contains chloroplast. These are chloroplast that are responsible for carrying out transpiration process. Now we will discuss the opening and closing of stomata. Mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. Opening and closing of stomata, opening and closing of stomata, opening and closing of stomata, mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. We will discuss here the process of opening and closing of stomata. As we know that during daytime we will discuss here opening and closing of stomata. During daytime, transpiration process, photosynthesis process will take place. Photosynthesis process will take place. During daytime, photosynthesis process will take place, and due to which nearby cells, water from nearby cell moves into the God cell, and God cell become when water, due to photosynthesis process, glucose form inside the God cell. Glucose form inside the God cell, due to which water from the nearby cell moves inside God cell, and God cell become turgid. Turgid means it is a condition when God cell become thickened. This is called turgid condition. And due to turgidity, and inner walls are pushed inside, and stomata gets closed. But during night time no transpiration will take place. That's why glucose content in nearby cell increases. That's why water from inside of God cell moves outside. That's why it becomes flaccid. Flaccid is a condition when it become loose. Due to which water molecule move outside, and God cell become flaccid, and stomata gets closed. Stomata gets open. Now stomata gets open. Now again we can discuss about it. Turgid condition is responsible for opening of stomata. And stomata and flaccid condition is responsible for closing of stomata. Now dear student, we will discuss one factors affecting transpiration. Adaptation in plants to reduce transpiration means how plant can reduce transpiration process means adaptation in plant to reduce transpiration process. First point that is responsible for reducing transpiration process. First one is thick cuticle. If there is thick cuticle, due to presence of thick cuticle, less loss of water, and so low rate of transpiration. Now second point that is discussed here, second point is loss of leaves. Due to loss of leaves are responsible for transpiration. Leaves are responsible for loss of water from the aerial part. That's why if leaves gets lost, then no transpiration, very little transpiration will take place. Very little transpiration will take place here. Now third point is that is narrow leaves is also responsible for reducing rate of transpiration, because narrow leaves have low surface area, so low rate of transpiration. transpiration. Low rate of transpiration will be here. Low rate of transpiration will be discussed here. These are the fewer stomata. Next point, that is fewer stomata. Fewer stomata is also responsible for reducing transpiration. Fourth point, that is fewer stomata. If there will little less stomata, the loss of water will be less. Less stomata, fewer stomata. Less stomata are responsible for less stomata reduces stomata reduces transpiration. Reduces transpiration process. Now next point, that is discussed here, sunken stomata. Fifth point, that is sunken stomata, like is in nerium. Example of this is, fifth point is sunken stomata. Stomata are sunken in leaves, then rate of transpiration will be less. Sunken stomata. Its example, that is nerium. It is very important example that is always asked in board examination. Nerium, that is example of sunken stomata. It is also called oleander or linear, or nerium is the example of sunken stomata. Now we will discuss the two different definitions that is responsible for carrying out this process. Anti-transparent. Next definition is one more important definition is anti-transpiration. It is clear. Anti means opposite. Anti-transparents. Those substances, agents or chemicals that are agents or chemical that reduce the chemical used to cut down rate of transpiration. Agents or chemical used to cut down means decrease. To cut down transpiration. Are called anti-transparents. Anti-transparents that is responsible. Agent chemical used to cut down transpiration are called anti-transparents. For example of anti-transparents are phenyl mercuric acetate. Example of anti-transparent are phenyl mercuric acetate. Mercuric acetate is the PMA, a fungicide. PMA, phenyl mercuric acetate. It is a fungicide that is used to kill fungus. Fungicide that is used to kill fungus is responsible for anti-transparents. Now next definition, that is most important definition, is exudation. Exudation of water or guttation. Exudation, it is most important definition. Exudation of water or guttation. Exudation of water or guttation. Exudation of water or guttation, that is responsible. What is its definition? Loss of water from margin of leaf. Margin of leaves through hydra tooths. Loss of water from margins of leaf through hydra tooths means those tooth which are present at the corner of leaf at the corner of leaf, hydrophores are present. Corner of leaf, hydrophores are available. Loss of water from the margin of leaf through hydrophores is called loss of water in the form of liquid. Loss of water from margin of leaf through hydrophore is called guttation. Or we can say accumulation of water. This process takes place in example of these plant. Example that shows guttation process are tomato, colocasia, that is called Arabi, colocasia, tomato, colocasia, and nerium. Tomato, colocasia, grasses shows the process of agitation generally in the morning time. These plants show due to excess of water present in the leaves. Next definition, that is most important definition, that is bleeding. What is bleeding? We know that bleeding means loss of blood, but here is no loss of blood. Here is only loss of sap, exudation of sap or watery substance. Watery solution. Exudation of sap or watery solution from the cut or injured injured part of plant. Injured part of plant is called bleeding. It occurs in as we obtain. Example we obtain, that is calotropis. Calotropis is responsible for milky secretion from cut or injured part. We can observe easily. And euphorbia both are responsible for loss of milky solution from the cut or injured part of plant. Now dear student, we will discuss one experiment to demonstrate transpiration pull. Now your chapter will become completed. Now one experiment to demonstrate transpiration experiment, that is its aim of experiment is to demonstrate transpiration. To demonstrate transpiration pull. Now for carrying out this experiment, we have to take a beaker. And a stand, and a water container, and a test tube, and a capillary containing mercury in the beaker and at some portions in capillary tube, and its upper part is fitted with a stem attached with a tubing, rubber tubing, so that plant will remain fixed at its position. And here is leafy suit attached in the upper portion of stem. As we observe that after some time After some time we observe that, after some time we observe that, observe that due to loss of water, due to loss of water or transpiration, due to loss of water from the upper part of plant, due to loss of water from the upper part of plant, we observe that if type of force generated on the in the leaves, that's why water, mercury from the downward side moves in the stem in upward direction. That's why this experiment shows that a type of force developed in the leafy part of the stem that is responsible for upward movement of water. Now your chapter has been completed.
Save.
Dear students, we are going to discuss opening and closing of stomata through this animated video. Now watch this is we know that here is represented is we know that stomata are located on the downward side of leaf. Now we will take stomata from the leaf part that is represented here. Is we know that stomata are responsible for exchange of gases, and water vapor. Stomata help in the exchange of gases from carbon dioxide from outside to inside of plant and oxygen from inside to outside. Now this is represented here. This portion of stomata is known as God cells. God cells contain many types of chloroplasts that are responsible for trapping of sunlight during the process of photosynthesis. Is given stomata are microscopic part, means very minute part consisting of two kidney shaped God cell. These God cells are of kidney shaped, and inner portion of God cell is thickened wall and outer portion of God cell is thin walled. During the daytime, is we know that during the daytime when the photosynthesis process will takes place in chloroplast of God cell, then concentration of glucose will increase in the stomata of God cells. And now this portion become hypertonic, and water from the nearby cells moves from outside to inside of stomata, moves from outside to inside to stomata. Thus concentration increases, and God cells become turgid. God cells become turgid, and due to turgidity, inner wall of that is thick walled, it gets stretched and stomata gets open. But during night time is we know that no transpiration process will take place, no photosynthesis process will take place. That's why no formation of glucose will take place inside this portion, inside the God cells of leaf. That's why when we observe that concentration of glucose decreases inside the God cells, and that's why inside the God cell region become hypotonic. That's why water content moves from inside to outside of nearby cell, that can be observed here. Here is the structure of leaf. Leaves, and means cut section, mesophyll of leaves, that is represented here. Mesophyll of leaves contain stomata. Stomata that is given in here. These are chloroplast, and stomata are located in the God cells and upper portion of epidermal region of the leaves. This is represented here, that is observed by this portion. This vapor Vapors are then diffused into the other connecting intercellular spaces and finally reaches substomatal space where it escape out. Means during the during the process of transpiration, water from the nearby cells moves into the stomatal region, and from stomatal region water gets converted into vapor and gets evaporated from here. Now this is represented here. Water vapors are moving outside from inside. Now this is stomata. As we know that in the it is represented, this portion is represented in the all plants which either are aquatic or other contain guard cells. Guard cells are responsible for transmission of gases. Here is open type of stomata and here is closed type of stomata. Transmission occur is long as the stomata are open, and it stops when stomata are closed. And closing and opening of stomata depends on the concentration of sugar present in it. Now this portion of cell is responsible for turgid condition. That's why guard cells are open, stomata are open. And in second case is represented flaccid guard cell. Here stomata are closed. Now we will observe next part of this portion through animated video that is represented here. Again, as we know that water from soil it moves into the leaf, up to the leaves through roots present in the plant. And plant contain xylem that is responsible for absorption of water and minerals from the soil. This water and minerals moves into upward portion. This is represented. Opening and closing of stomata is totally observed, represented through this diagram. And this movement of water is representing the process of the water leaves these cells due to the exosmosis and moves to the neighboring epidermal cell having cell shape and higher concentration. Due to concentration is inside the guard cell is responsible for transmission of gases. Now